So we're all hearing about these incredible AI breakthroughs pretty much daily, right? But what if I told you there's a huge fundamental crisis brewing inside the very AI systems we're all starting to use? It's a hidden problem that could make these amazing tools obsolete way faster than any of us realize.
Yeah, that's a pretty bold statement from our source material. A crisis. And get this, it's not about the stuff we usually worry about, like job losses or some kind of superintelligence going rogue. Nope, this is something much, much more fundamental to how these AIs actually work.
All right, so what is this hidden problem that's flying under the radar for most of us? Let's dig in.
Okay, probably the easiest way to wrap your head around this is to think of almost every AI model you use as being stuck inside a time capsule. It has an expiration date built right in from the second it's made.
So here's the real crux of it. To make a model like GPT-4, you feed it this giant chunk of the internet, books, you name it. But, and this is the key, that whole process happens at one specific moment in time. Once that training is done, the model's knowledge is basically frozen, like taking a photograph of the world on a Tuesday in October.
Just think about what that means in practice. On day one, the model's great, it's up to date. But a month goes by, the world's already changed. Fast forward 6 months, and now you've got a pretty big gap. A year later, a lot of its information isn't just a little stale, it could be flat out wrong. That growing knowledge gap, that's the crisis.
What you end up with is this fundamental mismatch, right? We live in this constantly moving, always changing world, but the tools we're building to navigate it, well, their knowledge is stuck in the past. It just doesn't line up.
And this quote from the source just hits the nail on the head. In a world that moves this fast, an AI that can't keep up isn't just not helpful, it can actually become a liability, giving you answers that just aren't true anymore.
Okay, so if the big problem is a static, frozen AI, what's the fix? Well, it's got to be something totally different. We need a whole new way of thinking, this idea of a living intelligence. And that is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, you can't just retrain these massive models from scratch every single day. It's way too expensive, way too slow. So what do you do?
Well, the new thinking is a pretty radical shift. Instead of seeing an AI's knowledge as this fixed block of concrete, what if we thought of it more like a living thing? You know, something that can actually grow and adapt.
And that brings us to what we're calling living intelligence. This isn't just about a software update now and then. We're talking about a system that's built from the ground up to constantly refine what it knows, in real time, as the world changes.
Okay, so how does that actually work in practice? Well, it's built on 3 key ideas. First up, adapting validation. This means the AI isn't just working off a fixed set of facts. Its whole process for figuring out what's true has to evolve. Second, growing data sources. The system needs to be able to safely pull in new, real-time information all the time. And third, and this one's absolutely crucial, governance from real expertise. This is not about letting the AI just run free. It's about having human experts in the loop, constantly guiding, correcting, and making sure the learning process stays on track and is actually accurate.
The bottom line is, it's a total change in perspective. We're moving away from the idea of a single, static snapshot of knowledge and instead building a living, breathing system that evolves right along with our world.
And you gotta understand, this is so much more than just a tech upgrade. This completely changes the game for how these AIs learn, and that has huge implications for all of us.
Which really brings us to the final, most important takeaway here. You see, the real AI race, it's not going to be about who builds the biggest model. It's going to be about who builds the model that never stops learning. The one that can stay perfectly in sync with reality. That's where the real power is going to be.
So that leaves us with this incredible question to think about. Imagine an AI that never gets out of date. An intelligence that can keep up with new medical breakthroughs as they happen or track climate change in real time. If AI can genuinely learn forever, what problems couldn't it help us solve?